Today on the American Truck Podcast, Oculus Touch brings motion controllers, Overwatch might have a Christmas event, World of Warcraft Vanilla is unofficially back, and the Steam Winter Sale begins soon. Hello and welcome to the American Truck Podcast, sponsored by Plaster & Sons with Andrew C.
And Jefferson B.
What's a Plaster & Son?
It's got a picture of a roof, so I'm guessing it's a roofing company.
See, I was really hoping it was for all your plaster needs.
It could be. It could just be a general contracting company.
That's very possible.
And that would make sense why they had all those shipping containers parked right next to the sign.
Indeed, they look like they could be portable offices.
Could be.
I feel like my place of work is just a constant construction site. So I've grown quite familiar with the portable office space.
Indeed, but there's no construction going on here.
Nope. This is actually quite the open road right now. This is quite nice.
It is indeed very cool.
I heard there was a little bit of snow going on up at Andrew C land though. Is that correct?
That is correct. There has been a wee bit of snow-based product, or depending on how much you call a wee bit, could be a whole lot of wee bits.
Yeah, we fit?
No, I don't think it's any Wii Fits. That's an entirely different story.
Okay.
Not everyone can be in the nice, temperate region of Freelance Gamer.
This is true.
Who is
Freelance
not joining
Gamer
us today due to being stuck and locked in Costco.
Ooh, I mean, I could think of worse places to be locked in just because I feel like you'd have all your necessary supplies in Costco, but
This is true. They do pretty much have everything at Costco.
Pretty sure I once saw that you could buy a house there.
I think if your idea of a house is a small shed, then yes.
Well, I remember seeing you could get a tiny house, either as plans or a kit. I believe it was in Costco.
I've never seen that. But then again, I do not shop at Costco. I shop at Sam's.
I don't even shop at Sam's.
Yeah, we don't have a Costco anywhere near us, so that's why we don't go to Costco. We probably would if we had one, but we don't.
Possibly.
So I cannot confirm nor deny whether they actually sell houses at Costco. They do sell sheds, though.
Obviously.
And what is a shed but a small house?
Minus a bunch of other stuff.
You can always add those in.
That's true. That's what the tiny house people did.
Yep. Not too much difference there.
Fair enough. But I believe it's time to move on, for this is not an architecture podcast.
No, it is not.
Even though we are sponsored by Plaster & Sons.
This is true. We definitely got a lot of architectural discussion from our sponsors at Plaster & Sons.
We fulfilled our sponsorship quota, so I guess it's time to actually move on to the gaming news, no?
Ah, yes, the gaming news, of course, unless you wish to turn this into a clickbait podcast.
Oh, whoa. Top 10 reasons that Plaster & Sons might be right for you.
Tune in at 11.
Yes. Millions of contractors are furious over this one weird trick called hiring Plaster & Sons.
I think we're better off as a gaming podcast.
I think you're right. Possibly.
So I know that you are quite the Oculus fan over there, sir, right?
I'm just more of a VR fan in general, but I do definitely peruse into the worlds of Oculus and Vive.
But I know the last time we talked about this, someone who I thought would be all like, yeah, Vive, was all like, no.
I mean, if anything, I'm Team Google Cardboard.
Yes.
Because that's what I truly do believe that all-in-one VR systems are going to be the thing.
It does make things a lot easier.
It does, and it makes it more accessible, which right now is the biggest barrier to entry. But we'll see. That's another podcast for another day.
Indeed. So one of the things here, the Oculus has created something that will kind of solve one of the problems that it had compared to the Vive, which is Oculus Touch. Basically, it's a set of controllers that allow you to interact with worlds and games and whatnot that you couldn't previously do because the Oculus was only a headset. So
my goodness.
Now it's
these
a full
controllers
product-y setup.
These controllers are genuinely fantastic. I've been looking at a bunch of their stuff over the past week, and I mean, for $199, you're getting two really, really ergonomic looking controllers that are fully motion tracked. They come with all kinds of great sensors and buttons and just user input on them. One of the greatest applications that I've seen of them is because they don't have because they act as that pointing medium. Oculus has created an application called Oculus Medium, which is like a 3D VR sculpting app, which has enabled users to sculpt out of thin air in VR, and it's been amazing to see what some of these artists have been creating. Might be a little gimmicky, might be a little tech demo-y. I will say the one downside right now is that it is regular battery based. This is not like a lithium ion thing that you're gonna have to plug in, but that does mean, because we know that alkaline batteries give us a nicer voltage curve, that we have that capacity, and it also means that we can swap them out that much faster for other batteries and get that much quicker back into game.
This is true. This is very true, although still a disadvantage for those who do not wish to have to provide additional batteries. There is a certain value of being able to just plug the thing in and it's charged in an hour.
Fair enough. I've seen charged batteries though. Over time, they kind of lose their muster.
Oh yeah, yep. That is definitely a problem with rechargeables, but
like I'd be cool with a user replaceable rechargeable battery.
Right.
Like a battery pack, maybe,
over
that I can
permanently sealed, soldered, and never replaceable battery that will die in a couple years.
And that will then require me to go out and once again purchase a $199 set of Oculus Touch controllers, because right now you can't just buy one.
Right.
So yeah,
in theory, though, you're
using
using them equally, and they would die about similar times.
Fair enough. I would think like different lot numbers or
Very possible.
Things like that.
But hopefully,
there's a lot of like weird, like really nitty gritty technicalities there that are, if you really care.
Podcast.
Right. Well, if you care about this enough, you probably already know it. So for me to explain it isn't really worth anyone's time.
Yeah. And if you don't know it, you really probably don't care.
Probably not. And nor am I qualified to actually explain what's going on here. I'm not an engineer. I have a humanities degree.
Yep. Pretty much the same.
Yeah.
So the other thing that adds that extra sensor. The Vive comes with 2 already. I think there's 3.
You're talking about Lighthouse?
The little sensor things that go with Vive.
Yeah. Those are called Lighthouse sensors, and I believe there is 3 because you need that 3-point triangulation for room tracking.
Okay, so, and whereas Oculus only came with 1 from what I saw.
That does sound about right, and mostly that's just for single point head tracking.
Right. And so now, with the Oculus Touch, you're getting 2 of those, which increases your data points and whatnot, and then they said that you also could add a 3rd if you wanted to buy an additional one, and then you could get more similar to the Vive setup with all the extra bits of tracking.
Right, and a lot of that comes down to what we're talking about with room scale VR, which is this idea of, I mean, I know I can't do it, but I've heard of, if you have someone who has like a dedicated VR space in their house,
right,
where it's like, this is where I do my VR, which is great. The market needs people like that. Like, those people are awesome, and I wish them all the best, but like, that's the kind of situation where you would want more sensors, and you're going to invest more time, more calibration, experimenting with beta firmware. It's a lot. It's a hobby at that point.
Right.
It's a very expensive hobby, but it's a hobby.
A little bit. Yeah, and from everything that I saw, it is somewhat more difficult with Oculus to do the room scale VR, just because their cables are all too short.
Yeah,
so you gotta get a lot of extension cables to.
And that's the kind of the thing where we're seeing right now where, like, I hate cables. That might be kind of the one hindering thing that's preventing me from any type of cabled VR solution, is because my lack of coordination would allow me to trip over myself almost instantaneously.
Right.
So I'm seeing more wireless stuff. We've got some interesting stuff coming in from Intel that I wouldn't discredit just yet. I was seeing some stuff today involving Leap. They're a technology company that bases themselves off of wireless hand tracking. If you remember, they had a gesture-controlled product a couple of years back called the Leap Motion, which right now is super cheap, And that technology right now is being currently ported into VR headsets, specifically in kind of the Gear VR style, where we're getting more deep, lower level technology. And yeah, it's exciting. 2017, I feel like, is going to be a great year for VR. And so I'm very much looking forward to where that goes. But the Oculus Touch right now, a great, great peripheral. Everything that I keep seeing about it says it is definitely worth the upgrade if you are a current Oculus Rift owner.
Correct. If you're not, you may want to continue exploring your options there and figure out what really is the best platform to be on.
Right. Your first step probably, and I mean this is just kind of me, is get a Google Cardboard. If you have an Android or an iOS smartphone that's of the right specs, it's like $20. You know, get your DIY, get your craft on, and get like a head strap attached to it, and you know, get in there, experiment with some stuff, try some stuff out. If you're lucky enough to own a Gear VR compatible phone, or a Gear VR compatible phone, why do you not currently have a Gear VR? It's like less than $100, especially with Black Friday sales. And it's Oculus-based technology, so you're getting amazing VR compression. Really, really great low-level access to the kind of the bits and bobs of the phone. Yeah, definitely start out in the mobile sphere. And if that seems to work out for you and you think you're doing all right, you know, consider stepping up. If you've got a PC with the specs, why not? Now is a great time to really kind of start getting kind of boots on the ground kind of stuff. And especially as we move further into 2017, you know, neither product has died yet. So I think we've got some viability going on for at least the next year.
Oh, yeah. And honestly, I don't see this being necessarily a platform type war product. I think you'll find that the exclusives end up going away, and it'll just be preference of what platform you like better.
Thank you for informing me about your turn.
Oh, I thought you were following your Jippus.
I was following the uses.
Oh, that's fair enough.
But no, I back to your point though. I can definitely see that. I think this might turn into like the next level of console wars, which it'll be a thing, and it'll be a thing we'll have to deal with, because the only way that we would be able to get platform agnostic VR would be if each company was willing to release their data tracking systems as non-proprietary development kit. Or if I could just port my code over to both, release it on both systems. I mean, we see people do that in the console market all the time.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah. So hopefully this all kind of smooths out. I'm really excited for what I'm going to see about Intel. I'd love to get like a third entity into the market that just kind of shakes things up a little bit and requires both HTC Steam and Oculus to kind of rethink their game.
Yeah.
And so here's to hoping for the best, I guess.
Right. Hopefully it all works out, and we have a robust virtual reality setup.
Man, I can't wait for that day. That's going to be so much fun.
But speaking of things that are going to be fun, in theory, Overwatch is going to be having a Christmas event.
Sure, why not?
It was leaked via Blizzard themselves. They kind of hinted towards it, and people have said it lends towards all of the existing knowledge about Overwatch. They definitely do a holiday-themed events and whatnot, so it's pretty expected. And they posted a little teaser saying coming soon of some kind of thing. And from what we understand, the Christmas update should launch on December 13th.
Yeah.
So be on the
That
lookout
sounds
for
right.
that. That would be Tuesday. Something else coming up late next week is going to be the return of Vanilla World of Warcraft.
Sorta.
Unofficially.
Yeah, basically. It's available. This is Nostalarius's return back into the public eye after their in-depth and top-secret conversations with Blizzard and trying to get their negotiations straight. But apparently, things did not go as well as they expected, I assume.
No, we went, as we talked about previously, we went into BlizzCon hoping for there to be some kind of mention of it, and there was absolutely not a peep about Vanilla WoW. And so once that happened, Nostralaris was kind of like, yeah, remember when we said we were going to release our source code? Yeah, we're going to go back to doing that again now that Blizzard has blown us off. So they gave their source code to Elysium. They said that they were going to be in charge of sorting out how to get it all working and everything, and apparently they've got it working and it's ready to go because they're planning on launching both a PvP and a PvE server on December 17th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Excellent. Now, TLDR, ELI5, what is Elysium?
I believe it's a basically a group of people / organization / community of people who were involved in private WoW in the past and the recent present-ishness. You know, people who want that vanilla experience without all of the expansions and whatnot. And I think that when Stellaris got taken down, it made them want it even more. And so you've got the culmination of all of this really unfortunate occurrences with Blizzard and the takedowns and whatnot.
Right. I can only see this kind of. This is almost like a stick it to the man type of situation at this point. I question how much of this is motivated by the ability to play vanilla WoW, and how much of this is, you know, kind of sticking it to Blizzard and saying, "Come on, guys, like this is our game." You know.
Could be a whole lot of that, definitely, and maybe on different degrees with different people. You know, some people who are like, "I just want to play vanilla WoW," and you have other people who are like, "Yeah, stick it to the man."
And I think there's definitely there's a slightly justified notion of that. What I'll be interested in is, will Blizzard respond with, you know, lawyers and machetes and just cut everything down, or are they going to sort of nonchalantly not say anything about this?
Could be a bit of both.
Could be. I think whatever happened during those talks is definitely going to show itself over the next couple weeks.
Yep.
So yeah, gentlemen, start your clients.
Indeed. And a little bit here, if you played on Stellaris' servers in the past, all that databases and whatnot were moved over to this new setup. So your characters will be there if you want them to be.
That's impressive, actually, because that's probably a lot of data that needs to be kept safe.
Oh yeah, I bet it was. But it was a lot of data. But if it was managed correctly, it should not be unwieldy.
This is true. If it was managed correct, it just is a lot of gigabyteage.
Yeah, definitely that. So there's that to look forward to. Even if you weren't into vanilla WoW, it might be something to jump on, and for old time's sake, if you're a WoW player,
or for political reasons, if you're like me.
Very true. Very true. And one final tidbit here is that the Steam winter sale is about to be upon us. I almost called it the Steam summer sale, and that would have been strange.
That would have been very strange,
because
but this is
indeed
quite anti-summer. This is quite anti-summer. I do wonder about that, about how the different contexts of summer and winter mean for us and the Aussies. If you're Australian, comment down below. Let us know, like, what does it mean when you hear winter? Because for us, it just sounds terrible.
That's true.
Like, how do you watch Christmas specials?
That's a good question.
You know?
Because it's got to be weird.
It's got to be different.
Maybe that's where that whole Christmas in July thing comes from.
Maybe. I was just thinking, like, would an Australian, like, be seriously interested in this? Or would they just laugh at us and be like, silly Americans?
It's a good question. I might have to ask the only Australian I know and see what their opinion is.
You know an Australian?
I do.
That's very convenient.
It is.
But, so we have the Steam Winter Sale, though, that's coming upon us.
Yeah, we do. It starts the 22nd, just in time for last-minute Steam-based Christmas purchases. Or goes in theory through January 2nd.
So all of us who are receiving Steam gift cards from obscure relatives who don't know what to get us, this is the time to use them, I guess.
Now you might be like me, though, and have absolutely nothing that you really want on Steam. And you're like, hey, look at all these games that are on sale that I don't want to play.
Yeah.
That's what happened to me at the Black Friday, Thanksgiving, fall sale, whatever they called that thing.
Oh, yeah.
I looked through things and I was like, these aren't really any of my type of games.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm interested. There's been a couple of really interesting titles I'm keeping my eye on that I'm looking to maybe pick up. We'll see if the cards are right, and if I get any of those obscure relative Steam gift cards. Did I tell you I got a Steam gift card once as a wedding present? Like I was participating in a friend's wedding. They gave me a Steam gift card as a thank you gift.
Huh.
It was fantastic.
That is definitely an obscure way to receive one of those.
Indeed. But it was brilliant.
Indeed.
Like I was totally completely satisfied. I was like, I am so appreciated right now.
And I believe that was the point.
Indeed. That would do it.
Yep. And so, if you, of course, are a Steam gamer, you'll be able to take part of that. And, worst case scenario, you go, well, I don't really need anything from here this year, and just hang on to your obscure gift cards.
There you go.
But with that is all we have for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the American Jokes Podcast, of course, sponsored by that company who does some kind of roofing and whatnot. Not entirely sure what they do. They didn't bother to give us any copy to read, which is quite unfortunate for them. But if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button down below. Press also hitting the subscribe button, leaving a comment down below, and we will see you in the next one.